Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel, or welcome to my channel if you're new here. My name is Shy. So today I'm going to be doing something a little bit different that I have not done yet on my channel. If you follow me on Instagram, I'll have it right here. Be sure to follow me. I posted on my story that I'm going to start doing like podcast style videos here on my YouTube. So basically what I'm going to be doing is I'm just going to be sitting here with my drink of choice. Today it's going to be a cup of coffee because it's early in the morning, and I am just going to be kind of just talking about different topics every week, and yeah, I just figured that this would be a good way for me to kind of just like open up a little bit more about like my who I am, and just give you guys a little bit more of like me other than like fashion and beauty and lifestyle. And I know I do vlog and stuff, but this is like just more of like a chatty video for us to kind of just like talk. So definitely be sure to like leave comments down below and keep the conversation going in the comments. And if you ever have any like topic ideas, every week I'm gonna put a like topic little box on my Instagram story. So if you guys have topics, or if you want me to like cover something, or if you want to just like talk about something, I will have that box there, so that way you can leave your topic and I will like talk about it here on the channel. Today's topic is going to be life after college, working full-time, and work-life balance. So I just figured that I would start out with this because it is March. People are going to be graduating school in a few months here, and it's something that I recently just went through, and it was really hard for me at first, especially like those few months leading up to me being done with school. Really hard for me to like understand like that I was going to be done with school. Like it was something that I couldn't really wrap my head around, or like grasp the fact that I was just going to be done with school and like working, and it was just really weird for me, and I had a really hard time. So yeah, I just figured that I would talk about that today, and yeah, we can just have a little bit of a conversation down in the comments like I said, and let's just get right into the video. So I kind of wanted to just talk about life after college, and just kind of like preparing yourself for that first real job, because I feel like we think about like graduating college and it's just like you think you're gonna work this job and you're gonna make money and it's gonna be like great, and like there's no more work, like you don't have to do like school work anymore. It's just gonna be like, you know, you're gonna go to your work, you're gonna go to your 9 to 5 or whatever it is, and you're gonna go home and you're gonna have so much time and you're gonna be able to do whatever you want. And that's just really not the case. Like at least for me, I feel like all I do is work. I feel like all I have time to do is like work, and then come home and like clean my house and then go to bed because I have to get up for work again. And it was something that I really was struggling with when I first graduated. So I graduated back in December. I finished my bachelor's degree in December, and I haven't like walked for graduation yet, but December was it for me. So like right in the middle of December, not even in the middle of December, back in the middle of November, I literally filmed a video. I will like insert a clip of me in this video. Like I was just like freaking out. I was hysterical, like just so scared of like what was next and what I was supposed to do, and if I was like, how do you know what you're supposed to do? And I was really scared because for my whole life or like for as long as I can remember, like I've been going to school. And even before that, I was still going to school because my aunt had me in like preschool. I think I went to preschool for 2 or 3 years. So I have literally been in school since I was 3 years old, I want to say. So I just turned 24. So I've literally been in school for 20 years, and I like just didn't know what to do with myself. Like I didn't know like what I was supposed to, like how I was supposed to feel. So I was really scared, and I was reaching out to so many people. And that's a huge tip of advice I would give you guys, is to reach out to as many people as you can if you are feeling like you're nervous, or you know, you're having anxiety about it. Because I was literally having anxiety about it. I was like losing sleep. I was like really freaking out over the fact that I just had this like, it was like this uncertainty about what I was going to do next. Because how I think of it is like, well, how I was thinking of it was, you go to school and then you have a break for, whether it's like Christmas break or summer break, but you know that you're going to be going back to school. Like that's something, you know, like you're going to go back, you're going to do it again, then you're looking forward to spring break, and you know, like you do that over and over again. And I've always known that. So now it was like, okay, you're going to school and then it's going to be Christmas break, and then what? Then like what do you do then? Like when do, like, so I was freaking out, and I ended up going full-time with the company I was interning for. So I was interning at a company my fall semester, then I graduated and they hired me full-time. And I don't want to say anything about the company I work for or anything like that, but it just isn't what I thought I would be doing. I'll say that. It's not what I thought I would be doing. And you get put into a hard spot. You get put into a spot where you're like, okay, I graduated college. I have this opportunity to work full-time for a company. They're offering me this much money. How do you say no? Like, how do you say no to someone offering you, you know, a salary, you know? Like how do you say no to that? And it was really hard for me, and I struggled and I struggled and I struggled. And then I just kind of like snapped out of it, and I was like, okay, this is my life right now. Like this is what my life is supposed to be. This is how I just need to, like, I just need to be positive, because I was being very negative about everything, and just like I was like, wasn't just negative, I was nervous and I was scared. So I just didn't know how to be positive about the situation. You find that if you're like nervous about something, or if you're scared, or if you're anxious, you turn to like negativity more, because how can you feel positive about something that you haven't experienced or you don't know? And that was something that I really struggled with, and I really worked through it by myself, and you know, by reaching out to people and asking for help and asking them how they did it, because I was scared and I didn't know like what I was doing. And yeah, so that was really, really hard. But then I just snapped out of it, and I was like, listen, like, why am I thinking that this is forever? Like, no matter what decision you make after college or when you're done with school, like, it's not your forever. Like, it's just this period of time. Think of it the same way you think of it as like, okay, I'm on winter break and then I'm gonna go back to school. Now, you know, you're not gonna go to school forever unless you are gonna go to school forever, like you're gonna be a doctor, or if you want to just continue to, you know, get your education. But I'm talking about for people that, you know, are done after 4 years, or maybe even after your master's. But I feel like after your master's, you kind of like know what you're doing. Like you're getting your master's because you know that this is going to be your career. So more so for people who are getting their 4-year degree and then they're going to be done with school, it's like, okay, you know, you're not going to go to school forever, and you know this isn't going to be your forever. So you have to kind of think of like working it like that, or like if you're graduating and you don't have anything lined up, you have to think of it like you think of everything else, like how you've been doing everything else. Like, okay, this isn't like forever, this is just a temporary stage, it's just a temporary time in my life, and it's not gonna last forever, and I'm not gonna ever get through it if I don't just like think positive things and be positive about the situation. I was being so negative, and I was like, oh my god, like I'm gonna hate my life, I'm not gonna like what I'm doing, I'm not gonna have any friends, like I'm not gonna meet anyone, or like I was just thinking just terrible things, like I'm gonna be so tired, I'm gonna have anxiety, I'm gonna go into like a really bad seasonal depression. Because if you guys don't know, I did open up about it on my Instagram last year, but I do suffer from like mild seasonal depression, and I have severe anxiety. So I in the winter get really like, I'm really low, I'm not okay, like I'm very sick in the winter, and I was so scared and so nervous that I was going to get into this like deep depression where I wasn't gonna be able to get out of it, and I wasn't gonna be able to do anything. And to be honest, like that didn't happen. Like yes, I went through my normal symptoms that I go through every year, and it was hard, but I was positive. I have to always balance the negative with a positive. So yeah, maybe I'm not doing exactly what I want to be doing, but I am learning so much about what I will be doing one day. You know what I mean? So I really encourage everyone to think of your first job out of college as an experiment, as like a semester in college. Just know it's not forever. Like if you stay with the company that you like, your first ever real job, like that is amazing. Like if you stay with that company forever, because you just learn so much about yourself working that first job. You know, you learn what kind of people you like to be around, what type of work environment you want to be in. Do you want to sit at a desk all day, or do you want to be up and doing things all day? Do you want a job where you have to talk to people a lot? Do you want to just sit at a desk and not talk to anyone and look at a screen? Like, what you learn so much. And if you think you're going to know all of that, you're going to know exactly what you want going into your first job, you're very, very, very jaded, because there's so many things that I never thought about when I was like going into this first job, that now I'm like, wow, like I can't believe that I can handle this, or I can't believe that I go through this every day, or that this is my job. You know, there's so many things that you would never in a million years think that you would be going through, that you go through, and that you just get through, and that it's not the end of the world. Like, yeah, I get it. Like, it might not be what you want it to be, or it might not be something that you're excited to go and tell your friends about, like, oh, I got a job here, or I'm doing this. And also don't be like that either, because your friends should always be happy for you. You know, they should always be encouraging you and like helping you get through it, especially if you're having a tough time getting through it. Your friends should be there for you, because you know, you need them. You need that support, because it's really hard. And I was very, very honest with all of my friends about it, and they all gave me like such encouraging words, and just like made me feel so much better about the situation. And they kind of like flipped my perspective on it, and made me just feel so much better about it. So yeah, my advice for you, if you're like going into a new job, or if you're starting a new job, graduating, whatever the case may be, just be positive. Think of it as like a temporary thing. Like, this is just a learning experiment that I'm gonna get through. And listen, if you get through it and you love it, then that's amazing. That's like better, you know. That's the goal, is to get through it and either figure out the things that you don't love, or figure out what you do love and why you love it, and how you're gonna like incorporate that into your next job or your next phase of life. And that's the whole point, you know. The point is to, by the end of it, or you know, in a year, learn exactly what it is that you do and don't like, and you know, how you're gonna grow from it, how you're gonna move on from that, how you're gonna be better in the next phase of life. So I really have been like thinking of my life in like little segments, like little semesters of my life, really. That's really how. And I'm trying to think of it as like not a waste, you know. I'm learning and I'm growing. Yeah, that's how I would think about life after college, like your first full-time job. And I have worked my whole life, just putting that out there. I have literally worked since I could work. Like, I remember I got my working papers and I went and got a job. Like, that's how young I was. So I don't have an issue with working at all, ever. Like, I have worked 2 jobs my entire way through college. Never, ever, ever had an issue with working. Like, I love working. I love making my own money. I love being like independent. I love that. But there's a difference when you work your first full-time job, and there's a lot that comes with it, and there's a whole, like, you're making like way more money. Well, hopefully you're making like a lot more money than you were making before. If you were working like a part-time job or like a seasonal job, you're gonna be making like decent money now, like money that can actually, you know, put you places and get you things that you need, and help you get like either out of debt, or you know, get a new car, or you know, help you buy a house. Like, you're hoping, I hope for everyone, that that's what your first full-time job does. And so it really puts you in a weird place, because you might not like it, or you might not, let me not say like it, because you're not gonna like everything about any job that you have, you know, unless you're working for yourself. And you know, even then there's things about that you might not like. But you're never gonna love it completely. You're not gonna love every single minute of it. There's gonna be something that's not what you love, you know, whether it be the hours or the people or the environment or whatever it is. But you have to think like there is positives to it. So if the money is a positive, think of the things that you're going to be doing. Like, okay, yeah, this might not be the most amazing thing ever, but at least I can, you know, pay off that credit card, or at least I can, you know, get a new car, or I can, you know, save for this, or, you know, whatever it might be. So that's just my advice. I would just really say think of it in as many positive ways as you can, and it will pass. You will get through it, you'll learn from it, and it'll make you so much better for your next job, I swear. Another thing that I think is just like crazy that we haven't like touched on in college or just in life at all, and like if your parents work a 9 to 5 and you know they have all of this, that's great because they probably would teach you a lot. But in my situation, I had to learn all about like retirement and healthcare. I had to learn about retirement and healthcare, and you know, just all of this stuff, like your what is it, like your life insurance, just all of this stuff that you have to learn about after you graduate college that you have never talked about a day in your life, unless like your parents or someone who like sits down with you and talks about that. It's very, 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 very hard. And ask questions, ask people around you questions. I know some people don't like to talk about it because you're talking about like your retirement and they don't want to tell you how much money, but you don't have to ask like numbers and things like that, but you can ask about the process, and your company should have someone that is knowledgeable about all of this that will sit down with you and kind of help you for your specific situation. And if not, you need to reach out to other people who are going through it and who have been through it, because it is very important to be like saving in a 401k and to be, you know, to have health insurance and all of that. So just make sure that you're talking about those things and that you're not like scared, or that you don't ignore it because you don't know. That is something I feel like so many people do. They just like don't know how to go about it, or you know, sign up for like they don't know how to do it, so they just ignore it. And nothing is worse than that, because you're losing money doing that, and you're losing out on benefits that the company owes you for working for them and for, you know, being a part of their company. That is just what they give you. That's what you get for working full time. So don't just ignore it. Ask questions, ask your colleagues, ask your friends who are, you know, about their, you know, their jobs and how they do it, and ask your parents, ask your, you know, your grandparents, ask your boyfriend's parents, like whoever you can get information from. Be smart about it, ask questions, and just learn. Don't be scared to ask questions. Like they said that since like the first day of school ever. Like don't be afraid to ask question. Like no question is a bad question. Ask questions, make sure that you understand these things because they're so important. And even though you might not think like, oh, like, you know, what can I really do in a year or 2 years, you can do a lot. Like you can save a lot, you can. So just make sure you're asking questions. And if any of you guys have questions for me about, because I did just go through all of this, I will help you to the best of my ability. Just, you know, you can DM me on Instagram or whatever, and I will help you to the best of my ability. But quickly, the next topic before we like lose too much time here. I want to keep these around 30 minutes, so we're doing pretty good on time. The next thing I want to talk about quickly is just work-life balance and some tips that I have for you. And if you guys have any tips, leave them down below. We want to talk about this. I want this to be very conversational. So yeah, leave your down below, but work-life balance tips. So basically I work, okay, so I'm supposed to work 48 hours a week at the job that I work at. That is kind of just like that's just like what the company says like is the minimum hours that you should be working. Now my specific office doesn't work 48 hours. We work around, well, I work around like 42 to 44 hours a week. And that's just how it is. Like that's just the way it is. There are weeks that I do work 48 hours. I will never work less than 40 hours, put it that way. Like I work right around 44 hours a week. And that's a lot. Like if you work a 9 to 5, you're like, whoa, like what? That is a lot of hours. Yes, it's a lot. And I work 1 weekend a month, so that's also like, whoa, You didn't think you're gonna be, you know, working a 9 to 5, that you also work on the weekend. The weekends aren't that bad because it's just 4 hours each day, so it's not really that bad, but you know, it doesn't really break up the week for you. You are working through the weekend and then you have to be there again on Monday, so it's really hard to like kind of relax and kind of like reset. It's kind of hard to reset for the week when you do have to work weekend, but that's something that I had to like learn to get through. So some of my tips for like work-life balance are to just plan things to do. That way you aren't like stressing about not being able to do anything that you want to do. So that way you still feel like you're having time for yourself, because if you kind of just like wait until the last minute and be like, oh, I want to do this or I want to do that, you don't really have time to like plan that out. By the time you like think that you want to do it, it's like already too late. So what I would do is I would make a list like at the beginning of the week of maybe maybe on Sunday night, make a list of like 3 or 4 things that you want to do that week, no matter what it is. Just make a list of things that you want to do. You know, if you want to go to a workout class, or if you want to run to Target, or literally down to those little things, like make a list of those things that you want to do and just like pick a day to do them. So just be like, okay, Monday I'm gonna do my workout class, Tuesday I'm gonna run to Target, Wednesday I'm just gonna chill, I'm not gonna do anything, I'm gonna do laundry, Thursday I'm gonna, you know, meet a friend for dinner, and Friday we can do whatever because it's the weekend. Like just make sure you're doing that, so that way you actually get in those things that you want to do. Even things as small as doing the laundry, like I literally have to plan in my head when I'm gonna do the laundry, and like I plan like a whole night of like, okay, I'm gonna clean tonight, like tonight I'm gonna do the laundry, I'm gonna do the dishes, I'm gonna vacuum, I'm gonna clean our bed. Like I have to plan those things, because I get very overwhelmed if I just come home and think that I'm just gonna do those things. Even though, you know, you don't have to plan out every little detail of your life. Like if you want to come home and just randomly do the dishes, yeah, you can. But if you want to do the dishes but you also wanted to run to the mall, like you have to kind of plan that, because you might not have time to do the dishes, you know? So you just have to kind of plan your life a little bit more than you did before. You can't be so like spontaneous about things, because you work, you need to go to bed, you need to get up, you know, you need to be rested, you need to eat dinner. So that's one tip. Another tip I have is to actually plan out what you're gonna cook for dinner. Now if you live at home and someone cooks for you, that's great, but this is for people who like live on their own, or with their boyfriend, or with roommates, or whatever. Plan out what you're going to eat for dinner. So what I do is on Sunday night, Sunday morning, I make a grocery list of everything that I need to buy for the week, but I also make a menu of what I'm going to make all week. So I'll know like, okay, on Monday night, I'm going to make tuna noodle casserole. These are the ingredients I need for it. What do I already have? Okay, I have half the ingredients. I just need to get like a can of tuna fish. Okay, on Tuesday night, we're going to have tacos. This is what we have. This is what I need to get. And it makes it very easy to make your dinners that way, because you already know what you're gonna have. You know, you don't have a million options of things that you could make. You don't get like all frustrated because there's too much stuff. You kind of just know exactly what you're gonna make. Like, okay, I have the ingredients to make tacos, we're gonna make tacos. You take the meat out before you go to work, and there's no question about it when you come home, because that's the only thing that you have to make, you know? That's the only thing that's thought out, and you know, whatever. So that's just my little tips for that. And just be sure to make yourself a priority. You know, make sure you're still doing things for yourself. Take a bath, like just take 20 minutes for yourself. So I usually get home around 6:30, and I have to wake up around 5:30, so I like to be like in bed by 9:30. So as you can see, I don't have much time. I have about 3 hours of time when I get home. So, you know, I spend an hour cooking dinner and eating, and then I like to spend an hour alone, and then I like to spend an hour with Dylan. So I kind of have to split up my time, just so that way I feel like I'm getting everything done. So, you know, I ate dinner and cooked and cleaned and all that for an hour. I spend an hour with Dylan, and then I spend an hour like by myself, just like relaxing. And that's just how I have to do it. And I know that sounds maybe crazy, but that's literally what I have to do in order to like feel calm and like collected, so that way when I go to work the next day, I don't feel like I've just like just got home from work, you know. I feel like I've done things that I wanted to do, and you know, in that hour that I have for myself, I do whatever I want to do. I, you know, watch a YouTube video, or maybe I write in a journal, or I'll edit a video, or I'll watch Netflix. I usually don't watch Netflix. I watch Netflix with Dylan, but you know, I do whatever I want to do. I film a video, like whatever, and that's just what I do. And I also wake up earlier so that I can get things done in the morning, and that just feels better too, just getting things done in the morning, because then it's already done. When you get home from work, it's done. Like, you don't have to worry about it. It's like you did it. Literally feels like you did it like days ago, because it's already done so early. So I wish I could work out in the morning, but I just don't think that's me. I don't think that's my personality, but I wish. And yeah, but yeah, those are my little tips for you guys for work-life balance. If you guys have any tips, be sure to leave them down below, so that way we can all talk about them, see them, use them. We need everyone's tips. We're all in this together, don't forget that. For some of you who might have been doing this a little bit longer than me, definitely give me your advice and your tips down below, because I'm new to this. I've only been doing this since December. It's only March, so I'm still new, I'm still learning, but I feel like I've gotten a good hang of like my life, and I feel like I'm like in control of my life, and that work isn't in control of me, and I love that. So I love that I'm finally somewhere where I feel very like healthy and confident, and I feel good. I just feel good all around. So definitely be sure to leave your tips down below. Be sure to subscribe, hit that red button. That way you can join me here for my little journey on YouTube. And I hope you guys enjoyed this new little series that I'm starting. Like I said before, be sure to leave me any suggestions of topics for the future. We can talk about anything, guys, like literally anything. We can talk about fashion. We can talk about like crime stuff. I love true crime. That's like my literal weakness. Like, that's my guilty pleasure, is like true crime and things like that. We can talk about that. We can talk about like more controversial things. We can just talk about like what's going on in the world right now. So yeah, just anything you want, leave it down below, and we will talk about it in the next pod style, because I think that's what I'm gonna call this. I'm gonna call it pod style, because you know, I'm all about fashion, beauty, all that, and pod because this is more like podcast, so it's pod style. Hope you guys like that. I hope you guys liked this video. If you did, give it a thumbs up. Be sure to subscribe, and I'll see you guys next time.